Hey superstars, welcome to the Get Rich Without Being a Bitch podcast, and I am your host Vanessa for this journey. We're going to be challenging some stereotypes, shattering glass ceilings, really looking at what it takes to live richly and to design a business that's going to support the life that you really want to be living. I'm going to be sharing lots of tips, tools, and strategies along the way, and I can't wait for you to join me on this journey. Hey superstars, welcome back to another episode of Get Rich Without Being a Bitch. Here's the truth. Getting rich and living a life that frankly others would dream of living is going to come down to some daily habits. It's not the big things that we do once in a while. It's the small, consistent habits that we build as a foundation that make all of the difference. There really is a system for success. And if we follow the system, it starts to become quite inevitable that success will be yours. Listen, I'm going to share with you something that we call the Daily 5 in the Business Growth Academy. It's the foundational habits that everybody has to follow. We call them also the non-negotiables. These are part of my daily system, and they're going to seem deceptively simple, yet I can promise you, if you were to follow them religiously for 30 days to start with, you would see a huge difference. So let me break them down for you right now. The first one is a daily revisiting your vision and goals, right? Revisiting it daily. And why is that important? Well, it's not just me and it's not just my clients. It probably happens to you as well. Those things that we say we want to achieve, the goals we write down, the vision. Have you ever noticed that if you don't revisit it, you actually forget what you're supposed to be working on? You can no longer articulate it. It's like we put it away in a drawer somewhere, and then 3 months goes by, or even worse, we get to the end of the year and we're like, what? I wrote those things down somewhere and I'm so far off track and I completely forgot. I know full well that, I ask our clients, what are you working on this week? Right? And they've got to get that level of focus. So revisiting the vision and why it's important to you is really important. That starts with crafting your compelling vision. You write it out as if it's in the present tense, and then you literally read it and read it out aloud so that every day you are getting reconnected with it, reinvigorated by it, and making sure that then you are taking action that is aligned with it. Super important. And again, tips to keep this top of mind. You can have it on your phone. You can create vision boards on your phone. You can, keep it in a Notion document. It's that, some of our clients laminate it and have it right close to their workspace. Again, we want to keep it top of mind. By the way, these daily 5, although I'm giving you them in an order, they don't have to even take place in this order. So again, another tip, breaking a sweat and getting your heart rate up for 45 minutes daily, non-negotiable. Why is this important? Well, we also know that when people are building their businesses, unfortunately, they'll start to neglect other areas of their life. Their health can suffer. They get stressed out. There's a lot of burnout. We see the same thing happening even with relationships as well. We say we're building our business for our families and our loved ones, and all of a sudden they're getting neglected. But we know that when we neglect these things, they're going to come back later and frankly bite us, and it's not going to be fun. Getting into the habit of a daily workout of your choice. I don't even specify what it needs to be. Many of you won't know this, but back in the day when I was first building my business in Switzerland, I actually was a health coach. And I used to take my clients on walk and talk sessions. We would walk in the pre-Alps, up in the Alps, big long sessions, and just chatting and a power walk, really getting that heart rate up. And the goal for all of my clients is they had to walk 10,000 steps a day. That was it. Walking. It is accessible to everybody. You can do it with a friend. You can actually go and solve some of your business problems. You could create your own group. One of our clients, she's about to create her own group for walking. She's like, actually, I really don't like doing this, but if I go and do it with other people, I think that's going to help me, right? So You decide if you love going to the gym, if it's tennis, which is a really easy one for me. It can be walking your dogs. It can be a bike ride. I don't care, but you must get your heart rate up and you must break a sweat. And why is this so important? Well, the more we push ourselves physically, you know what's really interesting? The better our mindset is. We actually start to see that we're stronger than we believe. It builds confidence. You'll actually possibly even notice, if you really track your thoughts as well, you might even start out a little stressed out and with thoughts of negativity, things you can't do, limitations. As you work out and you start to push your body more, you'll actually start to see and notice your own mindset shifting positively into that more can do, want to do, empowered mindset. As we sweat and we get our heart rate up, yes, it is really important for health, right? Which is the foundation of wealth. So we want to be proactive and not taking our health for granted. It is also that de-stressor, which is really important. When we de-stress, we also open the door to greater creativity. So this is why daily moving your body, breaking a sweat, getting that heart rate up is so important. And I really recommend starting the day. Start the day, get it done early. You'll have far less demands on your time. You know what? If you've got kids at home, my kids, of course, are grown up and I'm an empty nester now. But I used to get up really early to get my workouts in before the kids woke up. I had to organize myself differently, and we have to get creative. So really important. Leading in from that as well, and that importance of priming your mindset is back to what are we feeding it with, right? So for us, we recommend 10 pages of personal development reading daily. You can do this on a Kindle, you can do it on your phone, make sure you don't have any distractions on, or you can do it the old-fashioned way of books, which frankly I still love to do because I love to underline, write in the margins. And why is this important? Again, it's back to priming your mind. What are you feeding yourself with? When there are so many other things that are going to grab our attention in any given day, the TV, the news sources, people around us complaining, we get impacted by other people's mindset, what they're saying. We get on social media and we have feeds and feeds and feeds of things, right? Everything is informing your mindset. And so this is about you becoming way more intentional about what are you doing to prime an expansive growth mindset. Frankly, 10 pages a day should be easy. It really should be easy. And some of these habits you can stack up. If I'm at the gym and I'm on the elliptical, I can read 10 pages at the same time. I can knock out 2 at once. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. This whole routine can be done in pretty much, an hour to 15 minutes a day, when you get it really dialed in. So that's your 10 pages of reading. The next part of the daily 5 are 3 reach outs. Reaching out daily. And what does that mean and why? Well, business is all about relationships. So relationships with customers, relationships with prospects, relationships with power partners. Some of you might be referring to them as strategic alliances, strategic power partners, people that you might be networking with. Business is all about relationships, and building your resources of relationships and your network is really, really important. And again, money only comes into your business through people. It's either coming through prospects, existing clients, or power partners, pretty much not coming in any other way. So we've got to be doing those reach outs. And what might that look like? Again, you'd be amazed. This doesn't have to be that complicated, but it could be following up with prospects, right? Again, most definitely want to be doing that. Making sure that if somebody engages with your content, are you engaging back with them? Are you thanking them? Are you starting conversations? Are you building out strategically power partners? Again, this refers back to an earlier topic that I've spoken about, which is about, working smarter, not harder. We can leverage relationships and power partners and other people's networks, but we're not going to do it in isolation. So it's about those conversations And how do we generate those to see if we've got, shared values, perhaps a similar community, a similar target audience that we're serving in complementary ways, and building those relationships. Imagine if you're just doing 3 reach outs a day, right? Now, I do give my clients a break. I don't insist that they do these over the weekend. I'm a firm believer in, resourcing ourselves, taking a break, being able to reset, not doing things on the weekend, actually being present with our family, our loved ones, and our friends. 5 times a week, that's 15, right, in total reach outs. Over the course of a month, it's 60. And then we start to multiply that through the year, we're into hundreds. And not to mention all of those other opportunities that get generated from that. So again, if you're sitting here, listening to this and thinking, well, things aren't working for me, I question, when was the last time you did some reach outs and you proactively reached out? If you're looking to get on podcasts, what are you actually doing to make that happen, for example? Have you followed up with all of your prospects? Are you actively seeking out your power partners? Again, fundamentals here, it's not rocket science, but it is a daily habit. And then the last of the daily 5, again, not necessarily in this order, is about expressing gratitude. And really keeping that attitude of gratitude for everything that is happening. It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to, see what's not working over what's working, where you feel like you're failing as opposed to you're winning, right? It can be so easy to go down that path. But adopt an attitude of gratitude that you express daily, whether that is through written word, actually sending notes to key people, speaking to your loved ones, sharing with a friend how grateful you are, reaching out to a client and expressing it, right? Again, I love to have my journal where I'll actually write, on a daily basis, things that I'm grateful for. And yeah, on this challenging days, does it get challenging sometimes to come up with 3 things and that feel new and sincere? Yes, it does. But guess what? The digging deeper is really important. And it can be finding those really important lessons and distinctions amongst some challenges, right? That again, shift that mindset. And that attitude of gratitude is important because we get to choose where we spend most of our time emotionally. And it's about intentionally shifting our attitude into one of gratitude. And the good news is that when we start to really focus on what's working and what we're grateful for, we typically get more of it and we see more of it, right? We can see the potential of that. So that's the daily 5. It's about daily revisiting vision and goals. What are you working on right now? Where do you want to be? What are you working on right now? What are your goals for the week? What are your goals for the day? Right? Really drilling down. 45 minutes, physical activity, breaking a sweat, getting your heart rate up. 3 reach outs, again, daily. Reading 10 pages of personal development to expand your mindset and actively expressing gratitude. Again, these are not rocket science, but if you want to build discipline for yourself, expand who you are being and start showing up differently in the world, I can guarantee, do these for 30 days and you'll see a difference. Do it for 30 days and you will also start to see quickly where you drop off, where your lack of consistency is, where you start to make excuses. And again, you get to do that differently. As always, superstars, love having you joining me on an episode here. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Please like, comment, and particularly share with another woman in business who needs to know that this podcast exists and that there's really valuable content out there to help her.